This is To All the Men I've Tolerated Before with Natalie and Kristiana, your weekly look at everyday misogyny. Today, Kristiana from our bucket list episode on the men of Grey's Anatomy is back because she is an expert on the secret lives of Mormon wives.
I'm going to put it on my resume.
Please do. And I have avoided talking about the secret lives of Mormon wives on this podcast. And then this season, I was like, they proved me right. Misogyny reigns on that show wherever they turn. And everyone kept telling me it was so empowering as a franchise. But we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about season 4 and the aftermath and everything that came after it. Thanks for being here, Kristiana.
Oh my gosh, thank you. I felt like the bat signal went up and I got the call, and I feel so privileged because not only did you read my 2 articles on the topic, but then you sent me voice memos, and I just felt so seen.
I know. Between the secret lives of Mormon wives, the social media takedown of Chapel Roan, and there was something else where I was just screaming into my phone. I was like, why is everything so bad this week?
Yeah.
I think we should just get in. As you know, you have been very patient with me because every season of this show, I have to say it aloud to the people who love it. Yes, I'm watching it. I hate being left out of things, so I watch it. But I hate this show, and I believe that it should not exist.
I agree. I
Yeah.
mean, I think that's the way the show is going. I mean, so I want to circle back. You said people say it's empowering. I need to hear more about that because I have not watched it from that lens at
Well,
all.
thank God. I think, and maybe it's the terminology that they themselves on the show use, where they're like, we're just some girl bosses who woke up feminist one day and we decided that we're in charge of Mormonism. And I'm like, no.
Yes, I think, yeah, that is the language that they use. I think maybe like the empowering part, quote unquote, if I'm going into that lens, would be like, hey, you girls are doing it. You're supporting your house husbands and your many children, and way to go. We want you to, it's like I want what they want for themselves sometimes. Like when I'm watching a reality TV show, I'm like, I get to a point where I'm like, whatever Maura wants, I want Maura to get it. Like I'm rooting for their hopes and dreams. And so in that lens, I'm like, yeah, Whitney, get on Broadway. I want that for you. That's, I guess, empowering, but from a religious patriarchal standpoint, I've not watched it under that lens of like you're gonna smash it.
Well, and I feel like a lot of the pop culture, talking heads around the show are also it's like how we talk about not just mom talk, but trad wife TikTok in general, where it's like, well, these women do become the breadwinners of their home. And then that in itself is a place of power in their home. And I'm like, not always.
Yeah.
And I feel like every season I see glimmers of these women. And I'm like, okay, you're almost with me. You almost got me. The thing that I always compare it to is the Real Housewives franchise, which is a toxic franchise about women, but I do find it very empowering because I know that every Real Housewife goes on Real Housewives to eventually divorce the husband that they're sick of. I already know who's getting divorced out of Rhode Island Housewives.
Oh,
I know.
okay.
Yeah,
Is it Ashley I?
it is Ashley I.
Okay, good. I want that for her.
I try to rein it in when I'm like, I hate the Mormon wives because people are like, Natalie, they're just girls who are trying their best to create their own destiny. Isn't that what you're doing? And I'm like, yeah, but I'm doing it without trying to make people feel like the way to paradise is making a man a milkshake every day at 4:30 p.m.
Yeah. Yes. I I think all of this ties into all of the issues I had with season 4 because I was in it and the like it's my guilty pleasure. My group texts do not watch this show. But they come to me for the information about it because I'm like, "Hey girls, I'm starting this season. I will keep you updated whether you want me to or not." Like, so I I it is my guilty pleasure. And this season, I have to feel like, oh, this is what the conservatives feel like when their show turns too woke. I feel like my show turned too conservative. And yes, it's a religious show entitled Mormon Wives. But I was like, wait, oh, wait, we're all conservative here. And I feel like I got duped.
Well, and I feel like if it wasn't a Hulu show, and if the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City did not exist, I would have been, oh, this is one of the most fun trash TV series I've ever seen because I still watch The Sister Wives. I love a trashy TLC polygamy looking for sister wife show. And I've been like inundated with Mormon culture since I was a teen because my mom, instead of supervising what I would watch on TV, was like, I would like you to watch this on TV with me. And we were big fans of Big Love on
Oh, okay.
HBO.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. And Book of Mormon went to that. I it's starting to make me feel like the Secret Lives wives are making me prejudiced against content that I've always consumed.
Oh, yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Yes, because I left the season feeling like my contract with reality TV had been completely broken.
And we should get financial compensation.
I am due some compensation for my loss because I grew up watching Real World, like that was my jam. I I watched season 1 of Bachelorette in my dorm room. One of my college classmates was on one season. Like we yeah, I I've watched reality TV and I watch it like tongue in cheek satire or, a look into life I don't live. And this season I just was like, "Oh, I have to stop now," in some capacity. Like it started to feel just wrong and that what I thought I signed up for, I was unaware of.
Yeah, I had to stop with The Bachelorette, and apparently I stopped right before they actually couldn't control anymore how bad the men were going to treat women on the show. Like
Mm,
they just
yeah.
I'm sure it was COVID budget issues. They were like, background checks, never heard of them. We
Mhm.
used to do psych evals, not anymore. Like, because people are saying that that's what should have happened with Taylor Frankie Paul, that the Bachelor should have vetted her more and that people should be going to jail to cast her anyways. And I was like, no, no one does background checks in reality TV anymore because they watched Love is Blind not get away with it and send women into hotels in Puerto Rico with men who actively punched walls and no one died, no one got arrested, no one got sued. So now they're like, oh, apparently we don't have to care if the people we are putting on TV are safe people.
Yes, I listened to Higher Learning where Rachel Lindsay, who was a bachelorette, talked about the immense protocol of vetting that she was under. And you're like, everyone knew. I think that is part of the issue is that season 1 of Mormon Wives stopped filming for 10 months because of the trigger warning domestic violence issues that the film was released in this year. So everyone knew. We as consumers knew what was going on. we watched the body cam footage of the Utah police come to the house, and there's no way no one knew. Like, executives knew, the Bachelor franchise knew, and I think it's a frustrating thing where, like, we're not having fun anymore. Like, me as a consumer and real human people who are involved in these shows are not doing well. And what do we as a consumer do with that? Because now my reality TV is too real and not a fun escape in any way.
And to be fair, I've watched the grittiest of reality TV. Like, I was a huge My Secret Life MTV fan, where they'd be like, My Secret Life as a person who eats the couch. And then I
Oh
also
my
watched
god.
My Strange Addiction.
Oh, I have not watched these shows.
I'm sick. I also loved I Didn't Know I Was Pregnant.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I but I mean, I guess we'll just start with Taylor Frankie Paul. So if for whatever reason you don't have Instagram or TikTok or Hulu, Taylor Frankie Paul was going to be the Bachelorette. It was announced a year-ish ago, 2 years ago. I don't know the Bachelor's production schedule anymore. But it was announced, and then I texted a bunch of people the screenshot, and I said, "This is a Horseman of the Apocalypse. We're in the bad place. The conservatives have won. We're never going to be treated well as women ever if this happens." And people told me, "Calm down, Natalie. It will be so messy and so fun." And I was like, "It will ruin the franchise as we knew it. The franchise was already on its way out and shouldn't have continued producing seasons for a while." And and sure as shit, I was right. She did bring down the franchise, and she did get her ass fired from the Bachelorette. And now what do they do?
Yeah. I made, like I mentioned, a
A
PowerPoint
PowerPoint.
presentation for this. So, September 10th, 2025 is when she was named when she was named the Bachelorette, and she did that on Call Her Daddy. And then late October 2025 is when they wrapped filming for season 4. So, just to add that it was so that's not that long ago. That was what, 6 months ago?
6 months ago. And then,
Yeah.
yeah, to fuel my hate fire for the decision that ABC made for their own television show that I don't even watch anymore and I have no relationship with. So she gets let go from The Bachelorette because Dakota, her baby daddy and abuser, releases footage of her abusing him. And trigger warning, she threw a chair. A child was in the room. It's dark. It's awful. I wish I had never seen it. Except for I saw it on season 1, episode 1 of The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, because that's how the series opens. And I should have turned off my TV then. So the world goes bananas. How have you made this woman the loader of our fairy tale Bachelorette series? To which I said, you all were so on board for it being messy and for her to basically just be like beaten down by 30 men for 18 episodes. Like, you guys kept telling me that's what you wanted. And now she's actually kind of a complicated trash person. And you guys are like, why is the trash person who I wanted on my trash TV show being trash? And again, she the thing that rubs salt into like my wounds is the entirety of season 4 is based in two things. The first thing is Dadtok, and then the second thing is trying to convince Taylor Frankie Paul that she actually wants to be the Bachelorette.
Mhm.
And as a Capricorn, that makes me mad because I'm like, what do you mean you've been handed the keys to the castle, the dating castle, and you're lying in bed in sweatpants going, oh. I don't even know how to date. And I love Dakota, my
Yeah.
dummy baby daddy.
Yes. Um, it, I, I don't even know which way to start this. So I stopped watching The Bachelorette or The Bachelor when my best friend put her foot down and said, "We're not watching Colton's season if Colton is named The Bachelor." And I was like, "I respect your boundary."
Maybe
And
that's
we
when
have
I
to,
stopped. When was that?
sorry, Bachelor
23,
season
which aired in
23.
2019. And I said,
Yeah.
that's around. No, I made it into COVID because I watched Matt James's season. And
Well,
I,
so we stopped watching, like we've been selective. Mainly we stopped watching most of the Bachelor seasons and we would still come around for the Bachelorette seasons. And then everyone I just lost interest and Love Island became a thing and other shows were doing more interesting things. So I also listen to the podcast recaps on it by Two Black Girls, One Rose because they have my heart and I love to hear their takes on it. I get why they chose her, why the Bachelor franchise chose Taylor Frankie Paul. She has over 8 million followers in like combined TikTok and Instagram like currently, and they're a sinking ship. So it's like they saw an opportunity to capitalize on Hulu's and the Secret Lives franchise and do like a crossover Flintstone Jetson crossover episode. But I think they just got so greedy because they stopped filming The Bachelorette. It was wrapped before January, and they pushed it from airing in January to airing in March after they premiered season 4. And like they could have aired their show and Cinnabon could have given them their money if they just aired it when they were done with it. And instead, they wanted more mess because they knew what they had filmed in season 4, which was the opposite of a redemption arc for Taylor Frankie Paul. Like it just seemed like they were torturing her. Not torturing her. She's an adult. She's making her own decisions. It was not a fun season to watch. I had to fast forward through any time she was talking to Dakota or her mom because that was terrifying. It was just too much
yeah.
to watch.
Also, it's very clear that Taylor Frankie Paul is going through something mentally and chemically that looks like my depression, but I would never put a diagnosis on her. Where it's like, maybe she doesn't want to be the Bachelorette because she's literally unwell. And you're all talking around her in confessionals about all of the reasons why she's unwell. But no one is saying, Taylor, we can get you out of this contract and we can get you. They took one of them to eating disorder rehab. Why couldn't they take
Yeah.
Taylor to intensive happiness rehab?
I mean, I think everyone was holding on to her coattails of success
Well,
because the more popular she became, the more popular the show became, and their opportunities increased.
well, and also I think what there is a secret part of me that is pissed off for the rest of the women because it's so clear that if Jessie had actually divorced her husband in between season 3 and season 4, she would have been a fantastic bachelorette because she's actually a fan of the franchise and has note cards and has studied. She was trying to coach Taylor how to pull this off. And I'm like, well, now you've really fucked it for everyone, Taylor. Now your girl who needs to divorce her little troll goblin man of a husband, Jordan, um, she'll never get to be the Bachelorette because you ruined it for everyone. Who knows if one of them will even get to be a star on Dancing with the Stars again after all this. Also, cameras for season 5 are down. So you're costing all of your friends their paychecks.
Right. Okay. So interesting. back to my timeline because I'm a note taker. Okay, so the timing of all of it felt suspicious to me because the release of season 4 came on Thursday, March 12th, and Taylor Frankie Paul was at the Oscars on March 15th, and then the news was trickling out that something was wrong, like, on Monday. So it's like everyone had enough time to watch the show, get excited for The Bachelorette, and get those ratings and those ad dollars from Hulu, and then these bombs were dropped. It just felt like I felt like a conspiracy theorist of, "Oh my gosh, what's happening? What are we doing?" But so in between those things, um, on March 7th, the cast had a call with Disney and Hulu execs to voice their concerns about filming with Taylor. So, and so that happened. It seems like the women were saying, who are also executive producers this season, were saying, we don't want to film with her for whatever reasons. And Disney was like, la, 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 we don't hear you because we're doing our quote unquote investigation. So we don't want you to influence us. And then cameras are down. And it seems like they're still down.
And again, my conspiracy is that men can't let us be happy. So Dakota saw that Taylor was about to be literally probably one of the most infamous bachelorettes of all time and sent a video to TMZ. And by the way, it took me days to comprehend that it was an old video. I was like, well, damn, she got back from the Bachelorette and she threw a chair at him. I thought it was a brand new incident.
Well, that is part of the confusing part, though, is that there was a new incident, and that happened at the end of February.
Oh,
And so all of this started about the new incident that had happened in February, like February 24th. And then Reality Steve had screenshots from Dakota's phone, which his roommate sent him. Like Dakota's roommate sent Reality Steve these screenshots
screenshot.
of, yeah, of Taylor calling like 150 times in 90 minutes. So those are all over. So there was the incident at the end of February, and then but the video that was released was from the 2023 incident, which everybody knew about and nobody had seen the video. And the the thing that was frustrating, like I was on the a Patreon or Discord as the news was developing, like this was how I was getting my news, and I did no work that day. Um, was that as soon as the video was released, then everything is canceled. Before the video was released, which we all knew this event had happened, we were all fine consuming the show. But once the video aired, also released by TMZ, we ABC says that's it, we're done. We can't do it. And you're like, but you knew this video existed, you knew these events happened, and now you can't say you didn't know.
You know what's fascinating? I watch so many TikToks of ring cam footage catching domestic violent like situations, like whether it's men yelling, men physically in your space, whatever. There are so many women on TikTok trying to use that platform to draw light to the abuse that they're facing and then hope that that video gets to be used in court when they go to file for restraining orders and press charges and things like that. And then I watched a lot of TikToks of cops watching those ring cam footage videos when the cops are called. And she's like, okay, he escalated right here. Here it is on the ring door camera. And they're like, oh, we can't use that. That's not, I can't just be watching your surveillance state ring camera. And I'm like, wait, what do you mean you can't watch the video of her being shaken around? What do you mean? It's evidence. So it's so, and again, this is America in a nutshell. We tried to put a lady on TV a lady did something horrendous, and now we're mad at that lady. But women will literally also try to play that to be like, I have a video. I scraped his DNA underneath my fingernails so you could test it. I did all of these things to try and make you believe me, and we're never believed.
Yeah, I mean, that's because women have to be a perfect victim to even be taken seriously. And, there's a woman who writes pop syllabus on Substack, and she's my name twin. So her name's Kristiana Mbakwe Medina, and she wrote about this in her Substack, and she called it the bad white girl vacuum. And she was so I just want to read like her. She says she's a young wild woman, typically between 18 to 35, who we watch self-destruct in full view. The machine, tabloid press, paparazzi, gossip blogs profits from her destruction, and this young woman becomes a punchline, a warning, and oftentimes a collective punching bag for society's judgments about what a woman should or shouldn't be.
Yeah, that right, because right after the Taylor Frankie Paul thing, the Chapel Roan was mean to a kid in an airport thing happened, and I went, "Do you see what I have to live through? Do you see?" Because, and I talk about this like mysterious TV executive all the time, and I'm like, some guy who has an accounting degree named Bob is in charge of what we get to watch on TV and who gets represented on TV and who doesn't. And it's not a guy who has probably even one creative hobby. He just understands how to crunch numbers and be like, Hershey Chocolate will pay us X amount of dollars for this ad spot because they've used her before, and therefore she gets to be on the TV, or the followers thing, or anything like that. And it's just so dystopic to have an entire trope be, because a lot of people are having conversations surrounding the video at all, and that clearly Dakota is also a problem, and probably the original problem, and no one is talking about it, about things like reactive abuse. There's a whole acronym that I always get wrong, and how she is also a victim, but because he sent a video to TMZ first, he gets to be the victim who's right. And it's such a layered and nuanced conversation, because at the end of the day, both people are in a very toxic, abusive cycle.
Yeah,
And,
it,
and they're
absolutely.
and they're both perpetuating it. Like, neither one of them is in the right. And the people that we should be feeling the worst for are her kids and her younger sister who has to live with her mom. That's
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
who I feel the worst for.
I think as a American culture, we are so unqualified to talk about domestic violence. And I assume also really prejudiced against stigmas that we have heard and maybe believe and don't fully understand. And it's hard to have like to want to talk about this topic about the Bachelorette and from like different perspectives and also hold this very heavy topic at the same time because you're like, how do we have any conversation and not talk about the DB, but also know that like I am not qualified to talk about the domestic violence of it. I and that's not a cop out to say I don't it's
No,
not saying like yeah,
I'm not a therapist. I am literally just a, a witness to what abuse cycles I myself have
yeah.
been adjacent to.
Yeah, and I think that like so my first instincts when this news started breaking was this really I felt taken back to the 2000s of like Lindsay Lohan and Amanda Bynes and Britney Spears. I felt that like hunger to devour this news from like a really like, ooh, this is so juicy. I want to hear more about it. And then I had to stop and realize, no, no, like I've learned a lot from that since then. And I know that the media is telling me something and that, you know, we can't just take everything at face value. And like, I don't know. Did you read Girl on Girl, the book by Sophie Gilbert?
I listened to a good portion of it. But
Yeah.
yeah,
So it made me think of that book. And just because that is really a retrospective of that era of media and what the media did to pit women against women. And that is how I ended up feeling as the news was breaking, even though, yes, Taylor Frankie Paul has done something very real and harmful to her child in front of her child and is dealing with abuse and is being abused. At the same time, the media's consumption of it was this really retro 2000s Perez Hilton kind of vibe. And maybe because TMZ is the one breaking the news that I'm like, oh, this is weird. This is weird. What are we being fed? And it made me realize, like, before The Bachelorette was canceled, realize, oh, I can't watch that season. I can't participate in this anymore if that's the only way I can abstain from it.
yeah. And I will say that whenever someone wants to talk, and this is because of my own bias against men, and as of today is April 16th, 2026, I have 62 million reasons to have bias against men,
Yes.
in
Yes.
case people want to question me on why I do. Um, Whenever a woman is painted as a person who has been violent to a man, my follow up question is always, what was that man engaged in 5 minutes before that woman started screaming, thrashing, throwing furniture? What was he doing? What was he doing? I very much believe in reactive abuse. And unfortunately, he he got her. He got her. He knew what he was doing. He's like, she thinks she's going to be queen of this castle and I'm going to lose my spot on Dadtok. A video went out to TMZ that he held on to for 3 years, you sicko.
Yeah, and I think too, I did not watch the video. I'm try to avoid stuff like that online as much as possible. I did hear a clip of it and it was horrifying. Um, but I did also hear someone say, this is unverified, probably from Reddit or a podcast, that she had been locked in the garage prior to the video being filmed. And that, and you're like, okay, yeah, that makes an amount of sense that your reaction would be strong and that I don't know, the whole Johnny Depp Amber Heard case comes up where if you react or are violent, then the violence against you no longer matters. And it also makes me think of um, women who defend themselves and then um, are prosecuted for murder because they were defending themselves. And juries really tend to convict these women because they think women should have been more self controlled in how they defended themselves, and that the defense of their self defense wasn't warranted, that they should have been restrained in how they protected their own lives. And that all of that comes into these reality shows that we used to have fun watching.
Yeah, because as a woman who has a podcast around the idea of everyday misogyny, my not legal advice, but my advice, my life advice, my lifestyle advice is fight like hell, girl. Get him out of your house. Fight like hell and get him out of your house. They always have the upper hand. So get him out of your house however you need to get him out of your house. Because he's going to have the upper hand socially. He's going to have the upper hand legally. He's going to have the upper hand physically. And again, I'm a person who day one was like, this Taylor Frankie Paul woman is not interesting enough to have warranted an entire franchise. I don't find her very charming. I don't find her very interesting. The light swinging that they did, where they like kind of kissed one another's husbands near a shower, I'm like, that's boring. I don't care how often you go to church. That's not swinging. That's not scandalous, and it's not sexy. Like, she's not a person that I was ever rooting for, but also that's a very big reality. A very big reality is when it comes to instances like this, I logically know that the man always has the upper hand and the privilege. Yeah. So it's a very, and I think why it rocked America so much is because this is a tale as old as time. We've seen this happen so many times. And you and I are the generation who was raised on the Lifetime movie network, where we glamorized women fighting like hell to get him out of your house.
Yes. Yeah. So I did see today in Secret Lives updates when I was Googling something that Taylor Frankie Paul, is the DV charges have been dismissed and she will not face any new charges. So that's an interesting
Well,
turn of events, I
I feel
guess.
I feel like congressionally, like, isn't it part of like our big supreme laws or whatever that you can't be prosecuted for the same crime twice? So she had to have been prosecuted for it season 1.
Oh, are you talking about Double Jeopardy,
Yeah,
the
double check.
Ashley Judd story? Because
Yes.
that's the only reason I know that.
Dude, I was like, I'm a lawyer now, and you can't
Yeah,
get me on the same
I
crime
watched
twice.
I watched Double Jeopardy. I watched Primal Fear. I am a lawyer.
And a
I will take up
doctor.
your case. Yes, yes.
I'm a
Thank you
lawyer.
for knowing that about me. Right. So she was, well, I feel like you can't be convicted of the same crime twice based on Double Jeopardy, obviously. Not a lawyer. But since it was a new case, I'm like,
Yeah,
which domestic, there are three that I know of because there's the one from 2023, there's the one from 2026, and then there were rumors of there being another one in between those two that maybe they were investigating. So at any point of this news, I don't know which DV charge we're talking about or accusation. So it's hard to know what is going on over there.
it is hard. And I think what I've been noticing about how not fun it is to talk about TV, scripted or otherwise, or movies, is people are desperate to have heroes and villains and that be the end of it. Like, I want everyone to see the drama. I don't want anyone to talk to me about it because I know your opinions are going to be bad. Because it's about a woman who did a kind of shady thing, and we can't handle it when women aren't just like pretty and lovely. So I don't want you to talk to me about Zendaya in that movie. And we're currently experiencing it with this season of The Pit, where due to Dr. Robbie's depression, he's a misogynist now, and he's not just Mr. Cute eye crinkles and a biting sense of sarcastic humor that we love and makes us tingly. He's literally a man who screams at women in the middle of the ER, and people are like, why are they ruining the show? And I was like, there's a thousand reasons why. Are you watching the show? There's a thousand reasons why Robbie's in a downward spiral.
Yeah, yeah. I I think the lack of nuance is a good point to make, that I wonder if this has to do with like declining literacy, like even media literacy, where if something's not black and white and clear cut, like maybe people aren't understanding it.
Yeah, it's
Um,
because we have an empathy problem in our country currently and probably globally, but I never leave the country, so I wouldn't know. But we have an empathy problem. And the reason we have an empathy problem is because we have a literacy problem. Because how did I learn how to believe that other people's cultures are important and that people are people and people do weird things? By reading Anne Rice and the Dear America series and the American Girl doll books. Okay, I read a lot as a kid, and I was like, wow, things are really layered and they're really nuanced, and not everyone is perfect. And I read a lot of teen soapy books by Sarah Dessen, and I learned how to feel. and the children aren't learning how to feel from their iPads because they stop watching Bluey after probably the age of 6. And Bluey can only do so much.
I mean, it is healing a generation
Yeah.
of parents.
Yeah.
So let's not say, I mean, it's doing a lot of heavy lifting for.
We also sensationalize everything to a point where we're just constantly eating one another alive because of things like TikTok. Again, my favorite social media platform, where it's like, someone told me yesterday, they were like, it was Margaret, when we were talking Desperate Housewives for this podcast. She goes, I think we're just talking about TV too much because now the Pitt fans are just eating one another alive because they've decided to hate Dr. Robbie. And they're like, we must cancel Noah Wiley. And I'm like, his eye crinkles are the only things that are keeping me breathing most days. I'm like, well, I'll just look at a picture of old grizzled Noah Wiley and his smile crinkles, and I'll remember the will to live. And we're just always picking apart everything. And sometimes knowledge is power, and sometimes I just truly know too much about people.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I've the discourse around TV has seems to be more important than the TV itself. Like
That's a beautiful way to put it.
what we're being fed is kind of trash. And yet our ability to talk about it and our ability to talk about the nuance is really seems to be the point of what of consuming it. Like you watching Mormon Wives because you're like, I want to know what we're talking about. And me listening to podcasts with like Justine and Natasha from Two Black Girls talking about Euphoria, which I've never watched, but I want to hear what they have to say about this season. Like, so I think the discourse has its benefits and it has its drawbacks. And I don't know. I can only pinpoint to 2020 lockdown and like Tiger King as like, oh, we all were doing the same thing at once. And it kind of brought back watching Lost or Mad Men on Sunday nights and then all talking about it. But because we're all online so much, now it's to this degree of I is it too much? Is it still helpful? Or are people just feeding us trash so that we can talk about it? I don't know.
Season 4 of Mormon Wives took out any credibility that they had with me when they centered the men. The men got really insecure in their marriages, and that would be the season in Housewives where we gave all the husbands a loser edit and prepared for people to start getting divorces. But Hulu went, oh no, the men are getting insecure in their marriages. Let's make sure we platform Dadtok. And audience, nation, global wide, we're like, we don't give a fuck about Dadtok. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I think my biggest problem with it was that it was very earnest. Like every scene the men got was without humor and was just the most supposed to be the most serious feelings that have ever been felt by men ever. Like their amount of screen time that was given to them was like a huge like validation to their existence when they brought literally nothing to the table.
The entire season 4 of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives can be wrapped up in one scene of the first season of The Valley, which The Valley is the Vanderpump Rules spinoff that they had to do after Scandival, where it's like the people who were married and having children moved to the Valley because I guess that's the part of LA that you can raise kids in. I don't know.
It is. It's true that I know exactly what it means.
Yeah. So they moved there and they have their own show. And Jax Taylor, who is the worst out of Vanderpump Rules, and the other, well, no, there is actually a husband who is worse than Jax Taylor, the season 1 of The Valley, and that's Jesse. Whoever thought that would be a sentence I said. But anyways, the husbands are sitting on a cliff on this like little vacation they're taking because one of the wives is about to give birth. So they do one last hurrah
Oh my
trip.
God. The
And
men do a last hurrah trip?
no, the couples. But the men
Oh, okay, okay.
but the men are just like having male bonding time on like a rock at this like Airbnb. And one of the couples has 3 children. I think they're up to 5 now. I don't know. Under the age of 4, which is hell on water. And I think 2 of those
No.
children are twins, twin
Okay.
infants.
That math works.
Yeah. So, so he starts crying, and I can't stand when men cry postpartum. It enrages something in me. I'm like, stop making shit up. Like, I want men to feel, but only on my terms, and you don't actually get to be the one crying if you didn't give birth to the baby. So he starts crying. And he starts crying because he tells the men, you know, she's doing everything she can and she's doing so great. And we've got these 3 kids under the age of 4, and it's just constant baby, diapers, feeding, all of it. And she's holding her head up high. And then he ruined himself for me forever when he said, but no one ever wants to take in account that when she's feeding 2 babies, I'm holding the other one. And then
gosh.
all of the men of the valley gathered around him and was like, that's right. They never want to talk about what we're doing. And I was like, because you're doing nothing.
And then switch over to season 4 of Mormon Wives,
And
and
it
that's
was
all you see.
10 episodes of that.
I don't know. I want to know whose idea this was. Whose idea was it to be like, you know what we need to center? Men's feelings, house husbands' feelings. We should center those.
Also, the one that has a leg to stand on to have a platform for being super dad, Connor, too busy for Dadtok.
That was my favorite scene in season 4 was when he and Blondie, who we hate, Affleck, they're like at that Play City, and he's like, I've tried to take this opportunity to like express myself. So I've been doing ...
up
magic,
up close magic.
close up magic. And
Close
yeah,
up
I was
magic.
like, see, that's the humor I want in my show. I want this to be a ridiculous statement that I am earnestly telling you that I needed something to bring me out of always caring for my children, and I turned to magic.
And he does close up magic for the fans while they wait outside of the theater for Chicago for Whitney to come out.
I saw that and I was so amused. And you know what is funny is that he's had like a huge redemption arc
Of course.
because in season 1 he was like on Grindr or
Yeah.
Tinder or something,
Yeah.
and they had to move to Hawaii. And I don't think he is really on social media.
No.
Like, I don't think he has an Instagram. He has a pretty small TikTok, probably because she's like, I will murder you if you ruin this for us. Like, and he's talked about his um trigger warning assault, like sexual assaults that he was under, that he, I don't know the right way of phrasing that. So he's had a huge redemption arc, and I think the lesson was to just like shut up and help the nannies raise the kids. Because it, okay, of all the dad talking, they showed all of this labor of the men holding the babies and doing this stuff in like a blip when Whitney is having Jen Affleck at her Airbnb. They mention the nannies and the assistant. So you're like, there's at least 2 people that are paid to help wrangle their lives, at least. And they're given no time. But any husband holding a baby, he's given all the screen time because he's his work is valuable. His labor can never be invisible.
Yes. And then season 4 also opens up with the women trying to do a very female centered, what I would consider a manifestation Wiccan moment where they're going to like release butterflies.
Oh my God, that scene.
So picture this with me, everyone.
Mm.
A crescent moon of women dressed in matching outfits, I'm pretty sure, or at least matching tones, are standing there with a box closed full of butterflies. And I think it's Macy, is like, I want everyone, say it out loud, say it in your head, say a nice wish we could have for this season and our friendships and who we are as people. Except for I let her get out that entire sentence. She's trying to set the intention for the butterflies to be there. And then Goblin Jordan, who truly looks like the Luck of the Irish kid from Disney Channel.
Oh my gosh.
He is a leprechaun. He has stolen me pot of gold, or someone has stolen his, so he's mad at us. He in, and he's like, and he literally claps, so she has to stop talking. And he's like, "Hey everyone, just a real quick, da da da." I don't even remember what he said because it was so not important. And then the children are crying because they thought that they were going to get to see butterflies. So now a gaggle of children are going, "Mommy, what about the butterflies? Are you going to release the butterflies?" And
And
and that was the
they
tone
only
of the
have so long. Those butterflies only have so long to live.
they
You
only
got to
have,
get them out of
you
the
got to get
box.
him out of
Like,
the box.
we literally don't have time for this, Jordan. Like,
And then
also
they have to
that was at
shake open the box.
they did. They were shaking the box to like revive it. That was at the baby sip and see.
That's right. It
That
was a baby sip and
three
see.
three women had new babies. Three. And so they had a cutesy little like, come meet our babies. We're gonna release butterflies. And Jordan's announcement was about going to Vanderpump Village.
That's right. It was about a dad talk power grab. I
Yeah,
hate
and
him.
he was like, we have this great opportunity, and Dadtok is going to stand on its own 2 feet, which is not true.
No,
They don't have feet to stand on in the
no.
like, yeah. So that scene, was that episode 1?
It was, I swear it
Yeah.
opened the whole season.
Yeah. It really did tell us what we were in for.
And Jordan the leprechaun is my arch nemesis, Tom Scavo, come to life. So, like, if anyone was a Desperate Housewives fan, you will one day get to, on this podcast, listen to me truly say every episode I watched of Desperate Housewives, I wish Tom Scavo would drop dead, even though I knew it wasn't going to happen. But I willed it. I was like, maybe if I think hard enough, the TV will rewrite itself and he will drop dead and we will all be released from this. Because I can't stand it. Number one, I can't stand, and this is a housewives rule. I don't like it when men are in women's business. I do not like it.
Yeah.
Get out of my
No.
business and out of my sip and see. Why were they invited?
Right. I think okay, just to run some numbers because I'm obsessed with numbers.
Yeah, tell them how
Jordan
unpopular the dads are.
Oh, yeah. So, okay, Jordan has, let me see. I'm looking at my Excel. Like maybe 300,000 followers.
Sure.
Like, but the men, so Dakota embarrassingly has like 1 million followers. All
Everyone
of the,
be upset with yourselves.
yeah, I don't know what they're, ugh. Combined, the men had 3.4 million followers, and that's like across TikTok and Instagram. And that's all of them combined was 3.4 million followers from like when season 4 aired. Taylor Frankie Paul had 4.5 million followers before season 1 ever aired of Secret Lives. So like the men literally are not bringing anything to the table. Who This is where I feel like some like that media has turned too conservative and that this is how they're trying to convert people by showing us that men feelings all matter more than women's.
Yeah, that men are here
And
too. We know.
yeah,
I'm actively
uh,
upset about it usually. Because
yeah,
as soon as Jordan would have made that announcement, I would have screamed out. I would have been the single auntie being like, who invited you? Why?
and yeah, and like at least in the earlier seasons, like when Jesse and Demi were friends, Jordan had like Demi's much older husband to hang out with Brett. And like that at least gave like antics and hijinks and like dumb fun. But none of this was dumb fun.
No, they made them fish and then talk about their feelings while they were fishing for
Oh,
like 7 minutes.
yeah. Was that this season?
Yeah, they only
God.
showed me Cotter doing close up magic once, and they could have made him do it in all of his confessionals. I think
Yeah.
he should have done a new magic trick for every confessional.
Yeah. He's like, you know what I do to help clean up around the house? Close up magic. While the
Ta-da.
nannies are cleaning up the house.
Um, I mean, it got to the point where I was like, oh no, Jen Affleck's husband, the super soldier, he literally looks like if you say the wrong word, he's activated. Like
Yes.
he
He
he's scary.
Oh, yeah, I never wanna meet that man.
I know, but all of a sudden I'm like, well, he's like the second least annoying one.
But no, oh, I don't feel that way. I hate him so much. I think here I'm not over Oof, I don't even know where to start. I'll start at the end. He goes to see Whitney when Jen doesn't wanna talk to Whitney.
Yes.
He goes to that friend's
I hate men
summit
in women's
meeting,
business.
like, just say, Jen, that you're not gonna go. Don't send your husband, who literally hates Whitney, who she's blocked on social media. Don't do that. I the whole medical school stuff, the, like, potential maybe he gambled away his family's money to that was supposed to be for medical school. His arc in this season about, like, his wife working hard and him not having as much access to her or saying, like, "The kids miss you," or, uh, it just sucks. A mom doesn't need to be told that because she knows. She already feels guilty, so you're just wanting more attention.
Well, and so he's third most annoying. Jordan is the most annoying, and he should be eradicated at this point.
Yeah.
He is third annoying because the second annoying one is Michaela's groomer
Oh,
that we now have to call legally her husband, but her
yeah.
husband, Mr. And it's starting to happen on the Valley too because Kristen Doty just had a baby, and now her husband, her fiance, just sits next to her looking sad and unfucked
Mm.
and just being like, I just don't understand because it's been 6 weeks and 2 days, and the doctor said that after 6 weeks we could be having sex, and it's the only way I know how to feel close to you. And I'm like, why do men think it's so okay to look at their wife who's holding a baby? That baby is usually attached to them for nourishment. She has not washed her hair in 3 days. She hasn't eaten a meal. She has not slept through the night. And they just knit and knit and knit and knit and knit. When do you get to be my sex doll again? I have things I have to work out, and I need your body to do them.
Yeah,
Masturbate.
Yeah, Michaela is, the second most followed person on the show. She always has been, and she isn't really doing other things outside of the show that we are seeing. I think that's a really fascinating number because it's by a lot that she is farther ahead than most people. Um, her ability to talk about things on the screen is pretty refreshing and sobering, like her ability to talk about her abuse at a young age, um, her talking about her chronic illness flare-ups. That is what I imagine be a hard topic to keep bringing up, and I could kind of handle the sexual intimacy talk last season, but I didn't need 2 seasons of it at all. Like, you said all you needed to say, Jace. Like, you get it. She knows how you feel, and if she doesn't want to work on it, she doesn't have to, because maybe she's not ready to work on it because she just had another baby.
Yeah.
Like, they she had so many babies. I have that written down somewhere.
Or,
She has 4 kids. Like, I, I just this
yeah. Also, she's been having your children since she was 17
Yeah, they
years
got
old.
married when they were, like, 16, and
Yeah.
he is 5 years older than her, so he was 21, which
Mm-hmm.
is an age gap that is uncomfortable, and he has seemed like a nice guy,
Mm.
air quotes, for the other seasons, and he seems to support her. He's just quiet, but the sexual intimacy stuff of, like, "This is the most important thing to me, and you need to fix it for me."
For me.
That's the thing. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you need to fix yourself so that I'm okay.
Yeah. And this is why religious people have to let go that masturbation is a sin. You gotta let it go. You gotta let it go, because now I have these loser men begging their postpartum wives who have been split in two by a baby that they should get to have sex with them. And I'm sorry, find literally anything else that you like about your wife that isn't a service to you. I'm not talking that she does your laundry great or that she makes your favorite chicken dinner or anything. Literally, like, I just always like that when we're on a walk, she points out every blue bird. She loves birds. Find anything that you find charming about your wives and start saying it out loud.
That's so sweet. Yeah, I think also though, on top of all of Michaela's sexual issues, she also has chronic
Yeah,
flare-up that you're
probably
like,
triggered by him.
Yes, I am not yes. But you're like, but that also, like, if you're physically, like, broken out in a rash all over your body, maybe I don't wanna get down. Maybe now's not the time.
Because I really do like Michaela and Macy. It's Macy, right? It's not
Mhm.
like
Yes.
Nacy. Okay. I do really enjoy them. I think that they are the people who are like, why are we looking at the husbands so much? I think they're the humor backbone of the show. They lighten it up. They've always got something to say. I love their like Mary Kate and Ashley super sleuth like
Yep. Yeah.
dynamic. Like they'll solve the mystery by dinner time. And I love that for them. I really like them. Macy has also been very open about the hard things that she has had to go through as a woman and written a memoir about it that I did not read, but I heard good things. And I, at the crux of the show, it was supposed to be about this group of the thesis of the show was a group of women came together and they started making content about their real lives and what they had to do as mothers. And then they made millions of dollars off of that. And I think that's fantastic. For one, yeah, okay. Dance on a countertop. How fun. I've done it. Like, they made millions of dollars doing that. And they were supposed to continue to be a community and a friendship. And it was supposed to be the complicated nature of women centric communities because of all of the bullshit that we have to fight in our brains to like one another because of all of the bullshit that society puts on us about not liking one another. And that to me is a perfect show. And I would have watched that show to hell or high water. And instead, I do view it as just like conservative traditional values propaganda. And I think that that was made very clear with season 4, where it's like, remember these loser, ugly men? Give a shit about them, please.
Yeah, I think so I mentioned it before. The women are executive producers for the first time in season 4, and I don't really know what that means. It could just be a title. It could be a pay bump. I'm happy for them. It's something. But with that, they turned out the worst season ever. Like, everyone turned out this season, and I don't know if it's because they were filming the seasons too close together. Um, I That's one idea, but I think, like, to the conservative lean that I felt towards it is that they willingly gave their power and their space and their audience over to these men, and I think that, like, they couldn't escape the patriarchy of men are inherently valuable and deserve time and space and attention, and I don't know if the women individually are doing this, but I if they were all raised in the Mormon community, that would be kind of baked in, um, or if the show execs were doing it and they agreed to it, like, the women agreed to it. In, like, my most optimistic take, I wanna believe that they didn't have enough time to film, and so the men were given that.
The
Like,
women were booked and busy.
they were, like, Whitney was flying all over the place. Also, uh, Dancing with the Stars pays big money. Did you know that they make, like, at least $185,000 for the first 2 weeks and rehearsing time. And then, like, every week that you stay on, you can make up to, like, $285,000. So, like, Jen, who's gone all day and her husband is complaining, is bringing home a ton of money and paying for the nanny who's really watching their kids. And Whitney stayed on much longer than Jen and made a ton of money. So you're like, they're not doing nothing. They
No,
are really rehearsing and actually getting paid for their time.
booked and busy.
Yeah. And so, like, if I'm optimistic, I want to believe that they had better things to do, and the men, I don't know. It was so painful to watch the earnest portrayal of whiny house husbands who don't really know what it's like to take care of their own children and treat it like babysitting.
Yeah, yeah. And have that be ex- I almost said accepted. I will say that I am very proud of my side of TikTok because they were like, I'm fast forwarding through their scenes. What do you
Mhm.
mean?
Yeah.
I
And
like,
even it started with the reunions because I'm like, why are all the husbands here? Why do they get their own couch time?
why are they leading the
Nobody.
prayer before the reunion?
But yeah, exactly. Like, so they've it does tie into, like, the trad wife conservative angle of, like, the trad wives are making a ton of money and producing, so much on their own with like, camera crews and studios and all of that stuff, and also existing in a dynamic that doesn't want them to thrive and that they probably can't really thrive without their husband's approval or support.
Right. And it makes me sad when I'm right in these scenarios where I'm like, I'm telling you, they're not the heroes that we're hoping that they are. They're not shattering glass ceilings because I truly believe that you can't actually shatter a glass ceiling that you're willingly signing up for. And it does like truly make me the most mad that they are executive producers. But like they willingly gave up their time and they keep willingly like why were the husbands at the I understand that we're
Yeah.
I understand that we're trying to make men be more involved in the celebrations of the family, but I don't ever want to see men at baby showers, wedding showers, or sip and stays unless they are coming after it's over to fold up chairs and take the gifts and lift the
Yeah.
heavy things. That's why they get to come. They get to
Yeah.
eat the cold Chipotle buffet. And
Beautiful.
they
Yes.
and they get to fold up the chairs and put the gifts in a truck and then drive away. That's how we do it in my family.
I have
But
a theory. I have a theory that the house husbands were willing to let their women have internet fame, and because that was supporting their lives in some capacity. And then once the women got real, like a new level of fame, TV fame, that the men were like, well, then that's mine. I deserve that too. You can't be this famous without me. And to the point of like, were these women ever going to smash the patriarchy or reform Mormonism? I think that that is that idea of like bringing the system down from within is such a lie we're taught to believe that like we can reform it from the inside. And you're like, no, you can't, because the system is going to persist and you eventually have to decide to live outside of it to have rights or freedom or I think that that idea of reforming from the inside is something that keeps us complacent and is a lie and just is not possible to do. And this season showed us that they all want to exist on the inside of this system.
mhm. I the fallacy that you just described was beautiful, and it's also partnered to another fallacy that I hate, which is when people tell me men are just too dumb to know that they're mistreating you. They have no idea. They have no idea. No one ever taught them how to feel. And therefore they're too dumb to know that they're doing it. And therefore you can't be mad at them. It it's truly how women justify still living and earning some sort of privilege from the system that harms them.
Yeah, that, ew, I don't like that.
Because if the Mormon wives think that people would turn their back on them because they got a divorce, I hope that they know that I would be the first one in line for all of their book signings, any Dancing with the Star tours. I would love to support their divorce. I love supporting women's divorces. When
Yes.
I don't know. Is there anything else we got to talk about? We were going to do a Where Are They Now? Michaela is hinting at separating from her husband, but she does not.
She does not because so she's been in California, in Southern California. She seems very happy. I read that it was about her being closer to medical treatment for her chronic illness. And then she posted a video of her and her husband at Disneyland making fun of Zach Affleck, which I approve of, but with her husband, I was like, "Oh, guy, you're still together." But I think Jesse Draper is making weird TikToks with Marciano. So you go,
And
girl, I guess.
trying to sleep with Miranda's ex because everyone's is his name
Oh,
Chase.
yes. Chase,
Everyone has
yeah.
decided that Chase is non-problematic and the most interesting person on the show.
When he also didn't he have a podcast that was talking crap about all of them?
Yes. Also,
I
you think I'm in the comments? Every time I watch a video that might even say the word Mormon, there's Chase with a quippy little line, and they are funny. So he's either using the right prompts for Chat GPT or
Yeah.
he's actually funny. But people are eating it up. They're like, let me do the call for Chase. Mormon wives! And then he shows up. He's like,
Oh my gosh, amazing. He's at least working. He's making a name for himself as Miranda's possible ex-husband. I don't think they're really divorced. Um, I he's at least trying to make something for himself.
also, okay, more Where Are They Nows? Jesse is supposedly divorcing Jordan, which will make me her number one fan.
Right, yeah,
If
you
she
could go
pulls
get
it
your
off,
hair done.
yeah, I'll go get my hair done. I'll fly to Utah and I will get my hair done with Jesse if she signs divorce papers.
Yeah, that haunting line of he's hard to be married to
but
but
he'd
he'd
be
be
harder to
harder to be
divorce. But
divorced to.
I think every mother of a daughter should have that conversation with their daughter where it's like, you have to marry a man that you know if you have to divorce, it will not ruin your life. Danger wise, money wise, petty wise, kid wise. There are men out there that women are still married to because they know he'll be scarier to divorce.
Yeah, and this, I mean, sadly isn't her first divorce, and I think that is maybe one reason that she is like, "Well, this one should work," or
Ah, ah.
yeah,
No, Jesse, your
eh,
culture's fucked up. They probably wanted you to be married by 15. When you're trying to marry women off at 15, they're going to have a couple divorces under their belts.
I mean, most of them came into the show divorced. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5
Yeah.
out of 9. So the majority of them came in divorced.
Also, Jesse's making messy TikToks with Marciano, which I do kind of love, but she's also trying to sleep with Chase.
Yeah, I mean,
Because I guess everyone's going to take their shot at Chase.
did you there was somebody who made a really smart reel about the Mormon wives and how we're really watching like their second adolescence. That
Oh, yeah.
like
Because they
they're in
didn't
a
get to have
place.
one.
Yeah, so they got married so young, and so now that they have some stability, they're able to experience a different form of adolescence. And I definitely think Jessie is going to go that route with her post-divorce life.
I'll let her dye my hair any color that she wants and give me any bouffant that she wants. If she,
You're gonna get a lot of extensions.
I can't wait to not be able to upkeep those. I am actively, as I age, I am losing hair. I'm going to have to go on like the hers pill. So the
Oh
extensions
yeah.
might actually help me out.
Okay. Yeah. I want this this would be a funny like makeover episode.
Oh, I'm going to stitch it and tag her. Jesse, hi. My name is Natalie. I have no money. I have zero money. I live with my father currently because I have zero money. I can barely afford the cat that's sitting next to me. But I need you to know that if you sign divorce papers and if you get Jordan off of my TV forever and he just disappears because no one cares about his social media footprint, if you sign divorce papers, I'll let you do whatever you want to my hair. I'll let you do whatever you want. And I will tag your salon. And which one said that she doesn't do good hair? I'll call her a liar to her face. Was it Demi?
Okay, so I think so. I think we need to take a trip to Provo when this
Yeah.
happens. When I believe that she is going to do this, and we are going to Utah.
And honestly, Jesse, you should come to me because you have money, but
That's
I will
true.
go to
That's true.
you. Because Utah is kind of beautiful for as really fucked up things happen there. Um, Jen is getting a spinoff in California that no one's gonna watch.
Okay, I have decided the scenario in which I would watch it. I need her to get her real estate license, and I
Oh,
need her to join Selling Sunset OC. I would watch
yeah.
that.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
girl,
Jen, don't
go.
get your own show. Just go join those weird bald twins in the
Yeah,
OC.
they're already in the OC. I drive past their thing. Like, I would watch her pretend to sell houses, but I don't want to watch her with Orange County Mormon wives.
No, I don't like Jen Affleck. If anyone wants to know where I fall on the feud, I don't like her.
I I don't like her. Okay, I have a spot a soft spot for her baby trap pregnancy.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah. Oh,
that,
that broke my heart.
yeah, that
Yeah.
mental breakdown and that just like her actually having to stop filming and the depression
Oh,
of accidentally being pregnant, probably never considering the option of having an abortion, and then really being trapped in this marriage. That just it was so heavy, and was very hard to watch. And so
and
after that, I'm like, I don't need her to be a villain.
no.
I'm like, I don't know how you recover from that.
Oh, well, this is how she recovered from it. She cha-cha'd it away.
That's true, because it was
She's
like,
resold her soul to her
mhm.
marriage.
Yeah, that is true. But she did do a Dunkin' Donuts commercial with Ben Affleck,
She
right?
did. Yeah.
So at least she's making money
Yeah.
because with the Dancing with the Stars money and the Dunkin' money, I gotta,
Jen
I,
Affleck, if you go on record to say that Ben Affleck admitted to being a grumpy, awful, mean man who has treated JLo poorly while you were on the Dunkin' lot, I will cha-cha with you up and down the Oppenheimer OC office.
or like a Kitchen Island.
Or I'll get on a kitchen island. I've
Yeah.
always wanted to Coyote Ugly.
Oh my God, yes. Same. I've been meaning to rewatch that.
I love Coyote Ugly. So yeah, I this season kind of did make me wipe the fact that Jen was on the verge of being the first one to do what I need them all to do and get divorced, and then the pregnancy stick was positive, and she had it, and I was like, oh no, and it broke my heart, and it is exactly what this podcast is about. You're always trapped in misogyny somehow, and it's hard as hell to get out. And then she cha-cha'd it right out of her head, and she sold her soul back to that man who does not blink. Every once in a while, she'll tell him, I don't actually like being married to you. Love that. Like, I do love that. because
Yeah, go ahead.
because I think that more women should be treating their husbands like roommates. If you are postpartum and you're looking at your husband and you don't like him, that's perfect. But you realistically know that because you have a newborn, you're in no position to divorce said husband or any list of circumstances as to why you cannot get divorced. Because there are reasons, because of the patriarchy. Then I
Hmm.
say that's fine. Continue to live off of his dollar. That's actually empowering. And you should treat him like a roommate you resent. Like, you should just always be like, I can't believe you put the dish there. And then, like, simmer in your resentment of your bad roommate that you were legally bound to.
Yeah, their dynamic. So I guess I just don't like that she is with him.
No.
Like that. I. Ugh, yeah.
And she's
I
putting
think it.
on a very brave face about it, but she's not making it look like a brave face. She's making it look like cha-cha happiness.
Well, yeah, I remember season 3 when she had the really blonde hair
Mm,
and she was like had that baby voice while she was
mm.
pregnant, and it just seemed very like Blink
Oh,
Twice.
that's right. When she showed up to the reunion and I texted Chelsea Devontes, do you think they gave her a lobotomy?
Yeah.
I thought she got the Amanda Bynes lobotomy.
I so but now she's brunette. She's
She's back.
she's thriving. I don't know. She's
Thriving
doing
is
the
a
best.
word.
I mean, yeah, I mean, she's gonna live that Orange County Mormon wife life. I wonder if this is a real show. Do we think this is really gonna happen?
No.
This goes back to like the conservatism being shoved down our throats unwillingly is that by watching Secret Lives instead of Real Housewives, we're not going to get a bunch of divorce stories. We're going to get a bunch of we're making it work, even though I need a lot of ketamine therapy. Or like,
Also, is Whitney a nice person who I would want to hang out with? Probably not. But am I going to say that she's not talented and didn't deserve to win Dancing with the Stars and deserve to be Roxy Hart? I can't. That girl is talented.
her legs go all the way down to the floor. She's doing the work.
Have you watched clips of her in Chicago?
Yeah.
Have you seen the puppet one? The one where she's,
Oh, I just saw that. Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, give her a Tony for that
I
bit alone.
love this Chicago revival. And I know the like anyone can play Roxy, but
I will die on the hill that Chicago is better when Roxy Hart is cast with a non-traditional, not talented person. The show is
Ooh,
funnier when Roxy is not talented
I like that. I like it.
because she kills a man and goes to prison in hopes of fame, and she literally doesn't have the chops for fame. It's a better story.
So I think Whitney is living her best life, and I'm really happy for her and Connor. And I do think the airing of season, was it 4 or 3? Like, got her kicked off. Like, when they released it, yeah, it was like,
Or no, it was 3 because that's when they did the auditions. And
yeah,
she said, um, I just came back to film so I could be on Dancing with the Stars. And that
yeah,
enraged everyone. And I was like, everyone's so fucking stupid. Why do you think any of the women are on the show? Like,
yeah. Well, oh my gosh, that was my other favorite moment of season 4 was when Miranda said, "People accuse me of coming back for clout," which obviously I came back for the money. Let's get that straight. And I was like, love it. Love
love it.
her. And
I,
really, she wasn't on season 1 because of like the whole swinging thing. But then
mhm,
everybody got so popular that she was like, "Yeah, sign me up for season 2."
let's do it. I, yeah. So Whitney is actually talented, and nice or not, she is kind of a villain. Although sometimes the end of season 4, when it was like actually Jen that was kind of mean for no reason, and she was like, I just
Yes.
really thought that we could be two girls in California making this work for our families and that we would have each other for like that really got my heart. I was like, oh my.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, I forgot about that fight between them.
so every once in a while, like Whitney tugs on my heartstrings of like how hard and isolating it is to actually be talented when everyone else wishes they were talented.
Mhm.
I'm not saying that that's something I suffer from, but it is a plight that I empathize with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think I think what is not really given a lot of attention to is that, like, Macy was a D1 athlete, and then she had an
Oh,
injury,
yeah.
like, because they talk about it with the pickleball and the, like, tennis, like, she played tennis, and I think she had an injury, or maybe she got pregnant, so then, like, her career was over. I think there was an injury. So you're like, so you were at the top of your game, and Whitney did dance at BYU, I think, and so you're like, you are all talented people who were doing a lot of things, and now you're famous for this thing. I don't know. It's fascinating.
Yeah. And everyone who's a housewife or housewife adjacent on Bravo gets to be a DJ at some point.
Ooh, yeah. Well, okay, but so that idea that like Whitney and Macy at least were like high in the things that they were doing, and these women are bringing like collateral. It just is that other part where you're like, you need the women of your show to be the highest achievers, have a huge following before you give them a show. You need them to bring your own capital to their own capital to the show. But the men get to bring their absolute nothing. And we're going to reward that and give them money because they're getting paid per episode. So, like, oh, anyway, it's,
Well, what do you think we've learned from season? Let's do our wrap up. What do you think?
yeah.
What do you think was our big come to Jesus lesson about season 4?
Okay, I think my takeaway from season 4 is that I can't trust the media to do any sort of vetting, and I can't assume that what I'm being fed I should eat, if that makes sense. Like, I think I have been passive in consuming some of the social media, like some of these shows, and the darkness that they really have in them. I don't know if I can keep signing up for it.
What do you manifest for either the wives, Hulu, Taylor, us, the audience?
Oh, for the audience, I guess I'm manifesting nuance that we can hold two very complicated things in our brains at once and not have our head explode. And I'm manifesting just some escapism from our reality that we can find like a little bit of peace and a break from the news and how messy everything is in real life. And that, uh, yeah, that's what I got.
Yeah.
What about you?
What am I manifesting? I would like for Sierra Miller to be able to eat West Wilson's head off of the summer house reunion, like a praying mantis, but that
Mm,
probably won't happen. So instead, I'm going to hope that Jesse gets a really good divorce lawyer and I do get really bouffante extensions out of it.
I love this. I want
Sh-
that for you and
She has
us.
enough money to get the best of the best divorce lawyers. So, girl, do it.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't be scared because your prenup isn't binding. If you find the right lawyer, they'll get around it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah. It's a whole the cost of divorce is a whole other podcast
Yeah.
topic.
Good God. Do you have anything to plug? And you should, because your Patreon is full of really great book and pop culture takes and graphics.
Thank thank you so much. Yes, I just launched my own Patreon. It is called Coffee Break with K, the letter K. And I'm there talking about my current obsessions, what I'm watching, what I'm reading. And I also, my tiers are more fun treats. So if you want book recs from me or if you want fun mail, those are my Patreon tiers, but the articles are all free.
Lindy West was the third prong in that trifecta of things that made me mad that week.
Oh, that was it. Oh, yes.
It,
That was, mm,
yeah, as I was plugging your Patreon, your articles on Lindy West's new memoir. Yeah. It's a podcast episode in and of itself, and I'm terrified to do it.
ugh. Well, I mean, and then also maybe like the Lena Dunham of it all, because
Oh
that is
yeah.
also blowing up.
Yeah. Tolerators, you know the deal. It's been I've Tolerated Pod on Instagram, Natalie K124 on TikTok and Instagram too. Um, Make sure to check out our Patreon link in the show notes because I'm dropping lore in the blogs. Sometimes I'm posting my jokes if they're too dark to perform in public. and we have a bonus episode for our higher tier um, where I'm actually staying current with the misogyny of the times and reporting on it. Like I actually get to be a news spokesperson for all of the bullshit that we have to endure because the media is not doing it. So I'll just do it. Um, let's see. For Desperate Housewives, I said that I made fun of the Olympian who used being an Olympian to try and get the girlfriend back that he cheated on, and I just call him a moron for like 15 minutes. I'm like, this moron. Another man I've made fun of is Timothy Chalamet for hating ballet.
It
I hate
deserves to be made fun of.
I hate you, Timite. You could have just been a weird little guy that I supported, and I did during your indie and Greta phase. And now you're like, I'm the best there's ever been, and I hate you. I just hate you. In case that's not clear. But yeah, and remember, tolerators, you don't have to smile through anything you're tolerating, including chugging a really gross soda full of coffee creamer while also watching a woman throw away her chance of being the Bachelorette. Smiles are for joy.